Call the meeting to order. Just a few housekeeping items before we go any further. Colin and Bronson are on standby in the back there. If you have an issue, please raise your hand and they will get to you as soon as possible. If you have any issue with the crowd mic app or anything like that, we are being live streamed. And if you want to take the time to share the link with your constituents or whatever you want to do, you can do that at this time. That's going to be found on the link tree as the first link we have at YouTube. So please feel free to do that. Now we're going to go ahead and get things rolling. So we'll start with the prayer. Mr. Dan Latt will lead us in a word of prayer.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything you've done for us. Dear Lord, I just ask to guide us, all the students in this university, for our quarter and provide guidance to our student government as we lead the charge for this work. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. And Mr. Strebeck for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we got any roll to call?
All right, people, get ready to say here loud and proud. All right. Jamar Anderson. David Black.
Here.
Emily Meany. Here. Patrick Miller. Anna Moscoso. Julia. Gabe Freeman. Audrey Smith. Here. Andrew Bolton.
Here.
Harrison Cooper.
Here.
Stephanie Glenn. Here. Brennan.
Here.
Laderica. Here. Warren Peters. Here. Cameron Sanford.
Here.
Haley Thomas. Here. Abram Bender.
Here.
Ian.
Here.
Alyssa. Here. Alice Smith. Here. Max Bryant. Daniela Torres. Here. Colin Savario.
Here.
Sarah Tillman. Here. Max Broussard.
Here.
Adele Boudreaux. Here. Trent Bryant.
Here.
Kylie Pepper. Here. Annalise Russell. Here. Lindsay Thornton. Here. Roy.
Here.
Abby.
Here.
Caroline Dupree. Here. Elizabeth Hurd. Here. Marshall Keene.
Here.
Victoria Phillips. Here. Dahlia. Here. Morgan Fitzpatrick. Here. Nathan.
Here.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Caroline Cantella.
Here.
Kaylin Britton.
Here.
Sydney Marshall.
Here.
Jackie Thomas.
Here.
Garrett.
Here.
Anna Lester.
Here.
Kinsley.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
Sorry. Emily. IA. Allison Cowan.
Here.
Sydney McMillan.
Here.
Sarah Tira.
Here.
Dalton Dial.
Here.
Gabe Walker.
Here.
Amanda Wilder.
Here.
Samantha Taylor.
Here.
Abby Cobb.
Here.
Ellie McDonald.
Here.
Andrew Wade.
Here.
Gracie Avery.
Here.
Kaylee Baumard.
Here.
Colin Davis.
Here.
Bronson Jordan.
Here.
Abraham.
Here.
Kyle.
Here.
Kiefer. Here. Dan.
Here.
Palmer.
Here.
James.
Here.
Victoria.
Here.
And Elizabeth. Great. Thanks, everybody. Good job.
Was there anybody that just came in during the roll call that had their name missed? Senator Anderson. Excellent.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Anybody else before we move on from the roll call? Excellent. Okay, so at this time, we have a new section that we put in here. This will be our public forum section for the public or guests to come speak. And we have some great guests today, representatives from RAH. So y'all give them a round of applause. They come forward.
Hey everyone, my name's Cooper Jones. I'm one of the co-founders along with Sam, who's our CTO. I'm the CEO, and we are in the process of rolling out a new campus application for you all at Louisiana Tech. We've been hard at work with Louisiana Tech for about like 4 months, and are really, really excited by what it does, how it works, and really who it was built for, which is you all and all of your students and peers that you all represent. We started RAH about 3 years ago, and what we realized was that there wasn't any technology in higher ed that was actually built for students. There's a lot of software out there that y'all use, whether it be Moodle or other things, and frankly, most of that was built for administrators or was built for folks like Wes. And we realized that the #1 stakeholder on a campus is the students. And so we wanted to build something that was student first. And how it really came about was my own experience at Oklahoma State. I was a kid that grew up in Chicago, and I knew no one, knew nothing about Oklahoma State or at Oklahoma State. And when I arrived, was able to kind of find a pathway towards success. I found a mentor that really within that first week was able to guide me in saying, this is where this is. This is how this works. This is who you should talk to. And this is what you would be interested in. And upon graduation, I moved up to New York City, worked in finance for a couple of years, and realized during that time that my experience at Oklahoma State, frankly, was a privilege. Not every student, not any or everyone has that privilege of someone that's there to guide them from the beginning of campus or school to graduation. So we wanted to build a way so that every single student, no matter who they are, where they're going, or where they're coming from, could have those experiences. And so we wanted to build it in that regard. Now, when we think about RAH versus kind of what other apps are like, we wanted to build something that encouraged everyday use, something that you all would find value in and trust in on a very regular basis. And so I'm sure you all, as members of SGA, are also student leaders. Who all is a student leader here? Okay, so y'all probably have heard this spiel before, sorry. But the reality is that y'all and your peers, that only makes up really a small portion of the roughly 13,000 students on campus. And so we didn't want to build something just for the leaders. We didn't want to build something just for those students that are engaged. We wanted to build something for everyone. And so, on the student leader side, it's so funny, y'all were just doing attendance, and that was funny. And I think it was Matt Broussard gave us a big old yell. So shout out to them. Max, excuse me, Max. Max. But even something like that can be automated with RAH. And so you'll be able to scan in and check out all using RAH rather than putting your name up, and Max will not have to yell unless he wants to. But those are kind of some of the portions from the student leader side. But when we think about this for every single student, what we wanted to do was enable the campus and everything that La Tech provides to be a heck of a lot easier to discover and to access. And so that's based upon 5 pillars. So the first of those is search and resources and services, 3 for 1. But if we go on La Tech's website right now and we search something like pay my bill, well, likely y'all are going to get 50 different links to press releases, to policy, to procedure, and then you may find the bursar's office. We wanted to solve for that. So if you search pay my bill, then you're going to be directly routed to not just that department, but the people that are there. So you can search a lot easier. If you wanted to search cheeseburger, then all of the dining halls that offer cheeseburger are going to be able to be surfaced. Also with that, we didn't want to be just good at discovery. We wanted to be good at accessibility. And so you also can book time, and your peers and those that you represent can book time with all of the things that Louisiana Tech has to offer. And so if you want to book time with your academic advisor, with the career center, with a tutoring center, that's all done through RAH. But if you also wanted to book time with a spin class and a rec center, also can be done through RAH. The way that we see it is that the college experience should be seamless like Uber, it should be relevant like Netflix, and it should be automated like Zocdoc. And so that's really what we try to build. On that relevancy point, it kind of brings me to the next point, which is groups and events. Something that you all probably engage in a lot, and I'm sure a few other 1,000 students also do, but there's a lot of students that just don't. And so we wanted to make it a lot easier for you all and for them to discover and access those events. And so we treat it a little bit like Netflix. So rather than going on events.lawtech.edu, which I know that's what you'll use to submit events, and just seeing all 100 or 1,000 events or all 100 or 500 groups, you're going to see what's most relevant to you based upon who you are, what you're interested in, what your schedule is, so that again, it's just that much more relevant and seamless with your life. The final kind of two features that we built is the integrated calendar and map. And so in use one, when y'all download RAW, you're automatically going to see your course schedule and all of your assignments. What we wanted to do is enable you all to be super organized without being super organized. I remember, both when I was in school and also when we did our design partner phase, that students are still carrying around planners and it's just crazy. So we wanted to try to solve for that problem. But what we then did is we kind of doubled down on that utility mindset. We took all of those same commitments and we plotted them on a living, breathing map of the campus. And so on this map, you're going to be able to see where your class is in comparison to where your next assignment is, in comparison to where your next meeting is. You'll also be able to overlay that with additional resources and events that would be relevant to you. And here in the near future, you're going to be able to take that a step further, be able to see things like the emergency towers. You'll be able to see like where the bus is in real time. The other thing that we did with that map is we built it without walls. I know that sounds like I read it off of a popsicle stick, but what I mean is we understand that y'all don't just live a life on campus. You go to utility, you go to the YMCA, whatever it may be. And so we built it in a way so that all of those resources, those services, those people, and those opportunities beyond campus and Greater Ruston all can also be discovered and accessed. And so we think about that for some students. That's enabling those students that are struggling a little bit to find a food bank easy, to find affordable housing easy, whatever it may be. So we really wanted to make sure that we're doing what we could to solve everyone's problems. That's why we took so much time building it. Now, the last couple of things, and I'll kind of show everything that I just talked about, is just some features that are coming. The last thing I just forgot is on the calendar, is that integrates with y'all's Google Calendar or with your Microsoft Calendar. We didn't think it was a good idea as a startup to compete with Google and Microsoft. And so those communicate together. So anything that lives on RAW can live on Google or Microsoft. Anything that lives on Google or Microsoft can live on RAW. Now, before we dig in here, I want to talk about some of the features that we're working on that we'll be rolling out here in the near future. One of those is payments. Here in the very near future, you all will be able to pay for events. You'll be able to pay for membership fees for groups. And also you'll be able to pay for coffee, for a sandwich, whether it be on campus or off campus, all from your mobile device. On those purchases, what we're working on right now is incentivizing that. And so trying to actually lower the cost for you all with gas, with the grocery store, with things on campus. And so we are pretty excited by that. The other thing is we're really going to lean on notifications. I hate email. I'm sure y'all do as well. We get 1 million of them a day. And so we're going to start leveraging, knowing that there's assignments, that there's schedules and all these sorts of things, so that if you have a final, say tomorrow, we want to be able to recognize that and be able to say to you, hey, what's your name?
James.
James. We want to be able to say, hey, James, why don't you pop by this tutoring center today? You're available at noon, they're available at noon. And so really just trying to make it really, really relevant, really, really seamless, like all of the other apps that we use on an everyday basis. So with all that being said, this is not just for student leaders. This is for everyone. We wanted to build something so that everyone could connect to campus, so that everyone could find their fit and everyone could just have as strong as an experience as possible. The way that we operate, so for the first 2 years of our existence, we didn't sell RAW to anyone. We partnered with schools and we built it from the ground up. And every single step of the way, students like yourselves really gave feedback on it. They critiqued it, they influenced it. So we really wanted to be student first. And there's a lot of good things that came from that. And so we're not stopping that. We actually incorporated a feature so that if you all have an idea, if you have a critique, there's a place for you to submit that, and we'll see that immediately, and we'll start working on enhancing and improving it. And so we're here to serve y'all. Obviously, we partnered with the institution, but our number one priority, our number one stakeholder is serving you all, earning your trust and providing value to you all on an everyday basis. And so we take that really, really seriously. Before I show some of it, anyone have any questions? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you're good. Good point. Let's use that.
Come on, man. Let's go.
If I had rah-rah open.
Come on, this is SGA.
Okay, go ahead. Ask to speak. Does she have it set up? Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so I have two questions. First, considering how much relevance to each individual student, how are you doing that? Is it like a survey? Is it cookies?
Yeah, it's not cookies. So I'm 28, so I grew up in the world of Facebook taking advantage of my data, and I didn't like that. I'm sure none of y'all do as well. And so what we do is a survey. And so we're rolling that out in the next couple of weeks. But when you onboard to RAW, we're going to ask you, what are your interests? We're going to ask you what your goals are, what your needs are. And that's what's going to inform RAW. And so, yeah, we're not a data, that's just not our business. It's not our MO. Not only can we frankly not do that because of our partnership with Louisiana Tech, but culturally, I'm just never going to want to be able to do that or let that happen. It's a great question. Thank you.
Okay, and my second question is, considering you have students with discussion on our campus, and you're looking for like any low-income housing stuff, and so I also think people allergy country.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
If you deal with allergies, so you like figure out where they can be on our house.
Yeah, so I'll actually be able to show that. Right now, we are working on further filters, but right now, say you wanted to pull up Jones Dining Hall. I don't think that's a thing. But on Jones Dining Hall, whoops, they'll have information so that, you know, we have a peanut allergy friendly menu. We have a gluten friendly free menu and those sorts of things. So that's where we're starting. It's important for me to be transparent. As a tech company, I'm not going to tell you that we can do everything at once because then the product would probably be cruddy. And so there's things that we really, really wanted to focus on initially. But now that we're live is when for us the fun starts, where we can start collecting y'all's feedback and moving and updating and adding those sorts of things in real time.
Hey, Airmark should have that data.
Yeah, well, yeah, Airmark will have that data too, which is why that information will be listed. Any others? All right, it's a quiet bunch for SGA. I was SGA president back in the day. My group was a lot louder.
They're nervous. It's their first one.
Oh, it's y'all's first one? Well, bravo, congratulations. That's awesome. All right. Where's the mouse on here, Samuel?
Pull out that drawer a little bit.
Okay. So y'all can go to the App Store or the Google Play Store to download RAW. And what you'll see is this icon right here. There is another RAW solutions. That's not us. We're working on that right now. But when you see this icon, just download. And then what you'll do is you'll create an account. And it's very important, since y'all are a Microsoft campus, that you hit continue with Microsoft. And then you're going to enter in your Louisiana Tech email. Well, what's that?
Google. A lot of them have already gotten that.
Oh, okay. We'll bring it in the CTO for this.
All right. Hey, y'all, not to worry. All right.
Explain that.
So don't follow the first step I'm about to do here. I'm about to log in with my own account, but I'll show you where to go to do your thing.
That's on me.
All right, y'all. Here.
There you go.
All right, y'all. let's go into, if you go into your account, should be bottom right corner if you're on mobile. There should be a button here for settings, and there should be a button here for connected accounts. And if you could go to add account, for those of you who've already logged in through Google, this is where you can add your Microsoft account.
So,
So we still use our @email.lit.
yep. So, hold on real quick. So the reason that we did that, the add a connected account, is because we wanted to be holistic. And so y'all may have a work email, you may have kids, you may have a family, whatever it may be. And so on that personal calendar, we wanted to enable y'all to see holistically what your day looks like. So not just what your life is like as a student, but your life is just as a person. There's a few questions on this. Yes.
So even if I use Microsoft account, can I still export to my account?
Yeah.
Just make sure they're both logged in.
Yeah. Any other questions I saw for you? Yeah.
What is this Microsoft account?
So we have like Proactivity University. I don't know if anyone that actually uses it. We all use the G Suite. Like,
Cool.
Pretty much everyone uses the G Suite.
That shouldn't be a problem.
So we can still use Google.
Uh,
Yeah, so that works. So there's Microsoft thing, just keep using Google. Yeah. Sorry. All the admins use Microsoft, and we've been speaking a lot of that. I saw there's a couple other questions. Did that answer that one? Awesome. All right. Well, let's continue forward. So what we're seeing here, this is the home screen of RAW. This is probably what y'all are seeing on your phone as well. And so just walking you through a couple of the different features real quick. And so I talked about resources. And so we could either leverage these categories or we could leverage search. And so what we did, and I talked about a little bit, is we used natural language or human language. So if you search something like resume, then you're going to see the Career Center pop up. Obviously, resume isn't in the name of the Career Center, but since it offers resume review services, now that's going to be able to surface. So again, we wanted to be hyper relevant. So the same thing for you type spin class, the rec center is going to type up, and all those sorts of things. From there, we could also see the people that are actually the service providers. And so you could actually choose to book a resume review appointment, or you could choose to book an appointment with Avery here specifically. So again, we wanted to be holistic. You're also going to see the link to more information, the description, where this is located, and their hours of operation. So it's all in one place. What we also did is, again, you can see these events. And so I know that tonight we got MPHC. So again, you're able to see that. You're able to decide if you want to actually attend. And you're able to see groups. On the group side, we're still working on getting all that content in. Now that we've met with all the student leaders, we're in the process of activating those presidents and vice presidents so that y'all, if that's you, can go in and add this content and then get the word out about the great stuff that y'all are doing with these organizations. You like it? Cool. Awesome. That's why we're here. So, and then again, here's the map. And so again, this is just some of the stuff that's going on. But on your phone or on the web, if you wanted to tap the Wesley Foundation, you can see everything that's happening there. And we could really go kind of across campus to all of these different areas. Now, the one thing that I'll say is we're working really hard right now to make the content more robust. Obviously, Louisiana Tech has a lot going on, has a lot of resources, a lot of people. And admittedly, we love higher ed. Sometimes they take their time on things. And so we're working with the administration to get as much content as possible, because the more content that's in here, the more value that it's going to provide to you all. And so over the course of this quarter, over the course of this year, this is really, really going to become more robust, both with content and with capabilities and features. The final feature that I'll mention that we're working on is actually helping y'all find jobs. So whether that be careers, say Boeing wants to list 10 engineering jobs, you're going to be able to find that easier, but also those local jobs. So if utility posts a job for waiters and waitresses or a busboy or whatever it may be, we're going to enable that to come into RAW as well. So not only is it easier to discover and access a campus in the community, but it's also easier to discover and access employment, either for your career, for an internship, or for the community in general. So that's just some of the stuff that's coming. Wanted to share that. We'd love, as I said, you kind of saw it here. If y'all use this give feedback feature, again, we're not too sensitive. And so tell us it's great. We're going to love that. Tell us it stinks and tell us why, please, so that we can improve it. Our job is to authentically and genuinely listen, learn, and see and hear you all on an everyday basis, because that's how we're going to serve you continuously and serve the institution. The last thing that I'll say is separate of rah-rah. You all are leaders. There's a lot of great people here. There's a lot of great people in Ruston and at La Tech in general. But if anyone has any questions about startups, about technology, about what it's like to go to, a school like La Tech, which is really similar to Oklahoma State, to New York City, any of that, it's my job to serve y'all in every which way, whether that be with the software that we built or it just be with anything else. And so anyone has any questions, I'll leave my email with them. And I want to help any which way I can. So please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out at any point in time. That's all I got. Sam, anything you want to add?
No, beautiful. Thank you.
I don't know about beautiful, but either way. Well, thank you all for having us. Let me log out real quick.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I got it.
Get our thing.
That's super. Thank you so much. We're super excited.
Yeah, please spread the word. Yeah, spread the word, please.
Okay, all right. Excellent stuff. Good. We'll now recognize the Madam President for her executive report. Don't hold your applause, guys.
Can I just use the regular microphone? Okay, so we're gonna learn this new thing before I start my report, and I'm gonna count to 3, and everybody's gonna do 2 claps. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So can everybody give the roll repeat 2 claps as they leave? 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna wait for 3. Okay. All right. So that's something that we're gonna do all year. So we practice one more time. 1, 2, 3. It's more efficient than a bunch of people clapping at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so welcome back, guys. Yay, 2 claps for welcoming each other back. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was on me. We'll work on it. We're learning together. Is this on? Okay. So if you look up at the screen, this is going to be like our mantra for the year, our theme, our goal. I know that's that's kind of a new thing. We haven't ever really had that before, but I think if we have an overwhelming theme, it'll be easier for us to make our goals so we can all be on the same page, we can all align. So basically what our theme for this year is going to be bettering the experience of students where they're at, no matter the mandate, no matter any external conditions. So I think that a lot of times we use everything that's going on campus, everything that's going on in the world, like as an excuse to not do our jobs. And so we're not going to do that this year. We're going to do our jobs, whether we're virtual, whether there's any type of natural disaster, because that seems to be our thing, whether we have a normal spring quarter or we have any normal quarter at all. And we're going to do that by being proactive and not reactive. So we're going to focus on proactivity and not reactivity. So what that means is before anything happens, we're going to plan for it and be proactive instead of reacting whenever anything goes wrong. And so there are going to be situations that we are going to have to react, but if we are proactive in that, we'll have to react less than we would have before. Does that make sense? Everybody understand? Can I get a few head nods for that? Okay, perfect. So we have a lot going on. I'm not going to steal all the cabinet directors' thunders because a lot of them are going to report to you about all the things that they've been working on so hard this summer. I want to give 2 special shout outs to our Department of Campus Activities. Can everybody give them 2 claps? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Better. And for our dog hall and for all the org process that they did before school even started, okay, they got to the grind about 3 weeks after they were all appointed. And so that's really really awesome. And also we got to other really cool opportunity to follow through on one of our pieces of legislation last year that was aimed towards bettering international orientation. And we got to do that through our International Student Orientation Breakfast. And we also all the orientation leaders went to orientation in Dahlia. And I just talked to her about it. She said it was really good. It was a success. So if you'll give their department 2 claps, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Awesome. So with that being said, we have a lot of the year already outlined and already planned. So now we're just going to get to work. Okay. So I want everyone to get excited. I want everybody to be enthusiastic because this year is going to be jam-packed, but that means everybody's got to participate. Everybody's got to be excited. And that way we are going to benefit better students' experiences in everything that we do. Okay. Because it's not about us. It's about the rest of the 12,000 people on campus, right? All right. So I'm excited. Y'all be excited, and y'all make sure that you listen to the cabinet directors. And also I want to give a special shout out to the Summer Senate because they absolutely killed it. Okay. Passed lots and 4 pieces of legislation. So everybody give Summer Senate 2 claps, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And Gage can talk a little bit more about that in his report. Also, I want you to all download the RARA app and spread it like wildfire. A lot of you are in other orgs. So it'd be really important for us to utilize that because it's a resource that is going to be available to us, and we don't want to waste resources doing no resources wasted. Okay. And that's all I have, but I'm really excited for y'all to be back, and I'm going to chime in on some of y'all's reports, directors, so don't be afraid when I step up.
No, I don't want to. Yeah. Okay, my turn. Let me turn my mask on. Okay, so mine's a little bit longer. Not too long, I'm just kidding. Who was that? Roy? Keep it down, Roy. I saw you. Okay, mine's more directly at the senators, but it can apply to everybody, I suppose, not the office hours of legislation. But senators, work starts now, right? So if you are on Summer Senate, can you please stand up? If you were a Summer Senator, yeah, go ahead, stand up. Stand up. Guys, these other SGA members and other senators, your Summer Senate that was appointed worked like dogs. They met, they passed, we got a whole budget approved. We passed 3 resolutions. We passed a whole bill, Jalea. And so they did great. Abram's going to talk more about that. Give them a round of applause. They worked really hard this summer. Give them a round of applause. Great job. But now we're moving to the fall quarter. The work starts now. So all the things you talked about during your campaign and all the things that you ran on and all that good stuff, that's where we can start working on right now. So don't let, like Kiara said, anything limit you, right? Because just because we haven't gone to retreat yet, we haven't done all that formal stuff. If you have any questions, if you have an idea, as wild as it may be, whatever it is, you can bring it to me. That's the purpose of my position, or your senior senators, not senior as in that's their, that's their position as senior senator, but people who have been here before, ask them about how do I go about getting the bill passed? Come talk to me and we can work it out. My office hours this quarter are appointment only. So if you catch me in the back office, good, but you may not. So if you need me, please text me or email me and we can set up some time to meet. Please do not group me direct message because it doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I've never worked. It disappears whenever I do it. Senators, this is just going forward. Legislation must be submitted no later than 12 o'clock on Sundays. So if it's submitted after that at 12:01, it goes slated to the following week. So not that Tuesday coming up, but the next week. We got to have time for being processed by the Supreme Court and then processed on my end for the agenda and everything else. Senators specifically, we are getting into ex officio stuff. That application's out. So it would behoove you to be privy of how the ex officio process works. So that'll be section 3, and that's all listed there in the Constitution and bylaws. You can go read that up. Next meeting will stay after Senate, and we'll walk through that all together so everybody understands we're on the same page. And if any of your constituents have questions, you can answer them just as good as I can. Okay, continued. Next meeting, I've been called into a behavioral standards meeting, so I may be late or tardy. But in that case, I have appointed Senator Bender to be our temporary speaker pro temp, just to oversee next meeting. We shouldn't have any Senate business senators next meeting. If we do, then it'll be fine. Senator Bender will do a fantastic job at running that meeting. Senators, I know you had in the summer, you had little paper nameplates, but we're working on getting you some legit nameplates, so you'll have that as a keepsake. And then we already recognize the summer Senate, so that will conclude my report. Any questions directly for me? Excellent. Use the crowd mic directors whenever it's your turn, and if you have a question, you could submit it through the crowd mic app. So cool. All right, so next we'll recognize the treasurer.
No, utilize it too, Bob. It's efficient. My shoes are really heavy today.
This next 5 minutes is the most fun you're ever gonna have. We're gonna talk about some purchasing guidelines. So y'all are gonna get a quick run through of what it looks like to spend state level money. Payment of invoices. So invoices are paid on requisition when a purchase order was not issued before we got the goods. They're referred to as direct charges and have to have several things like the invoice number, invoice date, and every item listed on the invoice. Only specific invoices made out to Louisiana Tech University will be processed. All the other stuff like packing slips, acknowledgements, copies of, bills that we received, none of that will count. We've had trouble with that in the past. And so essentially everything that we have to buy has to be done through a requisition unless it's like an intercampus rec or something like that. And those things take time to get approved. They have to be signed. If they're filled out by me, have to be signed by Wes, signed by Mr. Speed, and signed by Dr. Crawford. And then they go through, I guess, the purchasing office. So it's an extensive process. So if you're trying to buy something for an event or anything like that, please make sure you give plenty of time for this process to go through. Bidding. The main thing that we bid out is t-shirts. And this process can take anywhere from 3 weeks to over a month, sometimes just depending on product and that kind of thing, the size of the order. So any item or combination of items whose total value exceeds $5,000 and is not exempt from bidding. So things that would be exempt from bidding is like just some small stuff that we do. Just about anything that's over $5,000 is going to have to be bidded out for the most part. So that means senators, any legislation that you write that's over $5,000 has to be bidded out. So you need, like, the very first thing, all of you should be doing that, whether it's under 5,000 or over. But the very first thing that you should be doing if it's going to be an expensive bill is coming to see me so that we can get that going. And then any events or other purchases that we have to make, t-shirts. If we have a large, anytime we do t-shirts, no matter the amount, they have to be bidded out. So if you're doing t-shirts for an event, you have to come see me as early as possible. We don't need super specific information. If you bring me a t-shirt with a design ready, that's great. But really all we need to know is the color of the shirt and then how many colors will be on the shirt. So a rough layout of what you want the design to look like. Anyway, requisition must contain a numerical list of desired items. So these have to be super specific. We do have to have sizes if you're ordering a t-shirt, and then anything else has to be super specific as far as what we want. Requisition must contain a numerical list. Vendor list should be attached with an estimated total price indicated. So that's what this sheet is right here. You can see there are 3 listed. These are for t-shirts. So Tommy's Tees, which is who we use probably most often, and then 2 other companies. So we send all of this information to those companies with an estimated price on it of how much we think it's going to cost. And then they all usually bid on it and then send their bids back, and they go to Wes and we find out essentially who won the bid, who offered the lowest price, for lack of a better word. And then we, by, I guess, state law, we have to go with that company. Reimbursements. This is probably the most important thing that we had a lot of trouble with last year. Just because just about everything else can be, handled. If there's a mistake or if we're late on something, it can be handled by Wes or me. But this is something that y'all have to be careful about. Anytime that you're about to go to the store and spend your own money or order something from Amazon and spend your own money, please ask me, ask Wes, ask somebody before you do it to make sure that you get reimbursed if you expect to be reimbursed. Because there are a ton of requirements as far as where we can spend money, what we can spend money on, how much it is. And it talks about petty cash. So you can be reimbursed with cash up to $50. Anything over that, you have to get a check. And then there's some other red tape stuff. You do have to fill out one of these forms for petty cash. We have these, so if you need one, come find me, but we should have already had a conversation about you being reimbursed anyway.
I don't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're good.
That's actually outdated now. Everything.
It's Workday? Okay, never mind. Nobody told me that.
I'm sorry, man.
You're good. You're fine. Let's see. Does it still have to be within 60 days?
I'm not sure that it has, I mean, that would be helpful if it was. If you're gonna buy something, just talk to Ty and we'll coach through it. I'll help you all with that, but don't let anything wait. I mean, get it to us quickly, otherwise you're running the risk of not getting paid back.
Yep. Anyway, we had a lot of changes with Workday, so a lot of stuff looks different, and I did not know that. Travel. Any travel to off-campus locations must be approved prior to the date of the event. No expenses involving travel can be paid without a completed TA form. If you hear people talking about a TA form, that's what that is. This is mainly going to be used if we go on a retreat, if we travel, with our cars to ULS Day, if we go to a conference or something like that. If you plan on driving anywhere and it's a university or an SGA sponsored event, make sure you talk to me. We can get your TAs taken care of. Food purchases. So if you're buying food for an on-campus event, our best bet and the easiest way to go about it is to use Aramark. If you don't want to use Aramark, that's going to take a little bit more time because we have to get a food waiver filled out. We have to get it through them and get that approved on their end. And that's what the supplemental meal form is talking about. And then again, keep in mind our contract with Pepsi for products purchased such as water and other beverages. So if you do go to Super One and you buy something, you get reimbursed for it. Do your best to make sure it's a Pepsi product. Don't bring, Cokes and Sprites. Waters are usually not a huge deal if we have the off-campus waiver, just because it's kind of a generic brand, and I don't think they're super strict on handing out waters, from what I understand.
They do want you to get Aquafina water, but if the absence of Aquafina, then you can get waters.
So all these forms, reasons that these may be rejected. If you're purchasing something that's not relative to the effective operation of the university and doesn't benefit the state of Louisiana. If you don't have an invoice, which is one of the very first things I talked about, if the invoice is not the original, if the attached invoice is made out to an individual, they do have to say Louisiana Tech University or Department of Student Activities. Receipts for reimbursement on petty cash can be made out to an individual. Reimbursements are for prospective employees. That's me. The forms have insufficient information such as required signatures, required attachments, incomplete specifications. Most of that stuff is for my sake, that I will take care of. I'm not going to ask you all to do any of that yourselves, at least without me helping you. But that's some of the reasons that if we're trying to buy something and I come back to you and say, hey, this didn't work out, we're going to try to figure something else out. That's why. Some takeaways: think as far in advance as possible about every single thing you need to purchase for an event. So especially if you have a big function coming up later in fall quarter, winter quarter, or even spring quarter, start thinking now about everything that you're going to have and start having those conversations as soon as possible so that we can get this stuff done. The sooner you come and talk to us about it, the easier it is to get what you need and for us to get it taken care of. Food and travel take the most thought and consideration. So banquets, retreats, anything like that, as soon as you can. Again, ask questions before you make any personal purchases. Again, I'm beating a dead horse here to make sure that you can be reimbursed, because the last thing that I want is for you to go buy something that's benefiting SGA or helping SGA out and then expecting to be paid back. We can't pay you back. So even if it's like spur of the moment, if we're doing something and somebody says, hey, we need this, call me, call Wes, call Kiara, call somebody and let us know so that we can make sure that you are going to be reimbursed. I am here to help. I want to help y'all out as much as I can. Senators, I want some really cool legislation to come from y'all this year. We have a budget for a reason. This is not me telling you to just go and blow the budget up, but it is there for a reason. There's only been a couple of times that the Senate has even come close to touching their allotted amount. I think it would be cool if we got close to it if we can, but I want y'all to make sure that you're writing meaningful and useful pieces of legislation, and the money that we're spending is justified and is for what the Senate and what the student government is made to do, which is serve the student body and benefit the students. For the cabinet members, same thing. I'm here to help y'all. If there's something that you want to do and you think, well, there's no way we can do that, there's no way that we could ever make that happen, it does not hurt to ask. I'm not going to look at you and laugh at your face. If it's not something we can do, then we'll talk about it. But no matter what it is, we will at least, I promise you, look into it and explore it, and do our best to make it happen if we can. So, any questions? Cool.
Hey, everybody. Forget about that. Okay. All right. So, for starters, I'm about to send a link, and all of you are going to get on your phones and join the Google Calendar right now if you're not already on it.
Yes.
Please. I just sent in the group meeting. Everyone do it. Also, while y'all are doing that, dog call. Kiara is also going to touch on this too, but I just want to let y'all know, like, it was great for what we had, but we do realize that there were a lot of people who obviously couldn't come because of sorority recruitment, because of weddings, things like that. Those of you who chose not to come specifically because you just didn't want to, I want y'all to know that, like, y'all joined SGA because this was a commitment that you wanted to make. You were either elected or appointed into this position. And so take that with a lot of weight and, like, really dedicate your time to this position, because there are hundreds of other students on this campus who would kill to be in your shoes. So don't just opt out of stuff because you don't feel like it, because you got tired of lifting stuff the day before. Please take all of this to the fullest advantage and put in the work that is required of you. Y'all just need to hold yourselves accountable, because at the end of the day, like, we can tell y'all as many times as we want that you could get an excused absence for something, things like that, but it's up to y'all to actually show up and do things. So with that said, if you did miss more than one day of dog call and it's an unexcused absence, you'll be hearing later from me this week about that. And y'all are going to be getting this little paper. It's just a letter. You're just going to have to sign it saying, I understand and I'm going to do better. Because once again, there are a lot of people on this campus who would kill to be in y'all's shoes. So really take advantage of that. What we're going to talk about next is what is considered excused absences and what's considered not excused absences. So excusable absences are sickness or illness. If you test positive for COVID, if you have the flu, if you aren't feeling too hot and you think it's something contagious that you can spread to SGA, we don't want that. So don't come, but still let me know as far in advance as possible. Obviously you can't control if you wake up one morning and you're not feeling too hot whenever it's the day of an event. Still let me know. Don't just not show up and then let me know the next day, like, oh, hey, sorry, I was feeling bad. Let me know in advance as far as you can. Next would be weddings and funerals. Those are two things that are planned in advance or funerals. Sorry. Sorry. Weddings are very far in advance, you know, you can't help it. I'm sorry about that. Y'all just, anyway. Have some fun here, guys. Come on. All right, next would be scheduled classes and tests. I know a lot of engineering students, I know a lot of engineering students and lots of other students, you have scheduled tests that you can't really get by. That's okay. I just, once again, let us know by the time excuses are due. If I say excuses are due on October 12th at midnight, then you better have your excuse turned in by October 12th at midnight because you've known about it before then. And lastly would be like special circumstances or things that you've already paid for in advance before dates were released. So if there's something with sororities or fraternities that has been in place for a very long time, something that you will get fined for if you aren't going to be there. I mean, there's a lot of special circumstances, so y'all still just need to let me know in advance. And if it's things that I've got questions about, I will ask you. But please just let me know, email me, because I will be understanding with all of this. Okay, and I know we also had some questions about office hours and what those entail. So what office hours are, it could either be for Senate, like working on legislation, writing bills, doing some research on things like that, working on resolutions. For departments, it could be meeting with your department, working on things for community service or for internal affairs, that kind of stuff. It can count as office hours. And we're going to be, and last, like another thing would be, if you just literally come to the SGA office for an hour a week, like it's not that tough, just hang out with your friends. Another thing that we're going to be starting this year is department meeting minutes. So each month, every department is going to meet all together in person. Y'all are all going to be there together and work on whatever you got to work on. But whenever y'all do that, you're going to actually get to document it, and it's going to count as office hours. So let's just say internal affairs was going to meet all together. And there's this folder right here that says department meeting minutes. So you would open that and look, there's already a paper in there made for you guys. All you'd have to do is say who was in attendance at this meeting. If it's everybody from the department, or if some people couldn't show up, then only say who was there. And then say what y'all talked about. It doesn't have to be formal. It's really easy. But if you do that, it'll count as office hours and you won't even have to fill it out yourself.
So with that, that is going to be a good opportunity for everybody in your department to be on the same page, so that it takes a little bit of load off your director. With that, it's going to be outside of an SGA meeting. It can be a Zoom. It can be you're going to eat, but you're need to talk about the things you're all planning, work on, everything like that. And submitting it to the drive is kind of like an accountability thing. So Elizabeth knows you're earning your office hour, but so Michael and I can also have access to it. That way we don't have to be like, hey, what are y'all doing? Hey, what are y'all planning? You know what I'm saying? No communication barriers here, okay? Also, if you saw in the drawing, there's also a folder next to your meeting minute folders. Directors, this is something new. Your directors already know about the department meetings and they should have already communicated to you about that. But in the folder, there's also an action item folder, and those are going to be things, directors, that I'll put in there and then drop in the director's review when there are new things that are added to it. If y'all logged on and see that.
All right. And then last thing, I've got a bunch of dates for y'all, but the most important one right now is that excuses for retreat are due on October 12th at midnight. Retreat will be the 29th and 30th. So it's going to be an overnight retreat. We're going to be back by 11 a.m. on the 30th. But I'm going to be sending a bunch of important dates on, like, in the group me, because I know it's going to be tough to remember it right now. They're also all going to be on the Google Calendar. So y'all just all add those to your own personal calendars. So that way it can all be there, and you can't ever tell me the excuse of, oh no, I didn't know that was happening. Okay, good, thanks.
Ethan, had a question?
Do we have any questions?
Gotta hold it down.
Hold down, son.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm the only one, but did anyone else is thinking about it? Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Y'all are just now telling me this? Y'all are just now telling me this? All right,
We'll work on that.
we're gonna send it out in the next meeting. Y'all are all gonna have it. It's gonna be great. What?
Anyways,
Okay, thank you, thank you.
back to you. Right down.
Okay, hey, that's good. Did you have something else?
No, I was.
Oh, okay, great.
On my counter.
Who's that smart aleck that's doing that?
Hey.
Sing tired of the smart goodness. Driving me crazy. All right, did you say something?
Let my cabinet speak.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. Before we move into cabinet, Mr. West, did you have something?
Yeah, real quick. I appreciate that, Gage.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the slide.
All right, people, I'm not gonna hold you very long. There's a couple things I want to touch on. I'm gonna drop something in your group me right now. This is a project form. I mean, you don't have to use this. It's not a requirement. I didn't give it the tire gauge and tell them, hey, you guys have to use this. It's really probably gonna be more for your senators. Here's the reality, guys. Last year is last year, but there's some learning things that we can take from last year. Was anybody in here on the career closet bill? Surely you guys know. Abel's a good senator. He does good work. Here's the reality though. We have stuff that still to this moment has not been completed from the bill for the career closet. What happens, unfortunately, is that we pass these really ambitious bills, and then there's no follow through. And that's not a slight against Abel. Abel has done a terrific job of following through on almost every single thing in the world. With this one, it wasn't a fault of him. It's that I didn't get any of this crap until, probably June. I'm having the Career Center email me and say, hey, where are we on this Surface Pro? And where are we on these bins and stuff? Hannah gave that stuff to me, and I went and I searched through the Google Drive and I found some stuff for the bills. But y'all, I have a lot on my plate. I can't go searching for stuff and trying to figure out what needs to be paid and what doesn't need to be paid. In addition to that, just kind of paint a picture for you real quick on how the career closet bill went through. So just to pick on that one because it's still not been done. So with the storage bins or the collection bins, if you guys remember this, last year if you weren't here, if you're a new senator, we passed this career closet bill where career closet is this great thing. We're gonna have people donate clothes for business attire. They're gonna drop them off in these collection bins. This Surface Pro was used. It's a feature that's gonna be used to take the orders. We got these scanners. We got all this cool stuff. All right. Well, the collection bins, they had, it was a company that we haven't worked with a ton. It's called Displays to Go. Displays to Go didn't have any of our tax information. So I had to call and I had to wait on hold for about 2 hours. And then they finally got on the phone and told me that I had to email somebody. And I emailed somebody and that somebody said, hey, can you send me your tax exemption form? I sent the tax exemption form. They said, hey, we need you to create an account and upload this to that account. I created an account, uploaded it to the account. I still had no clarity on what I was supposed to do next. Then the Career Center folks are calling me and saying, hey, where are these display bins? Which they still haven't gotten them, by the way. And then I'm like, hey guys, I've done everything I can. These folks are telling me that I have to go in and place this order, but I can't place the order online because even though I've submitted all the tax information, their online portal still shows taxes. And they're telling me that they'll waive the taxes after the transaction. Purchasing doesn't work that way. They don't roll with taxes. So I'm like, hey, I really need somebody to get an invoice. At that point in time, I punted it off. I said, guys, I can't keep doing this. I need someone else to go contact this company and wait on hold for 2 hours and do all this stuff. So that took about 2 weeks for them to get me that information before I could finally put it in a Workday and get it paid. Now, I still don't know where the display bins are. They asked me for an update. Well, I don't have time to keep calling and getting an update. We just need to get them ordered, and I assume that's happened by now. But it's been put into Workday. Here's the problem now. I can't pay for it until we get them, okay? That's what Ty was talking about with some of that stuff where we have to do a net 30 payment period, okay? For things of that nature.
I can't just go in and if I pay for it with a credit card, it'd be a little bit different, but I can't pay for it with a credit card when taxes are showing. So all that to say, that's where you guys come in. I think you guys have great bills, but I'm going to need your help this year. I need you to do the legwork for me. I need you to be the ones who are going and calling these companies and sitting on hold for 3 hours and making sure that you have all the taxes waived and all that stuff. I can give you whatever information you need. I'm happy to provide. I'm happy to tell you, hey, this is exactly what you need to tell them. We need an invoice. We need a W-9 from them, and we need them to waive the taxes. We can't pay for it otherwise. That project form is going to help me to keep track of all this stuff. So what happened last year is we would have emails that came in. Hannah would send me emails, and then the senators would send me emails, and then like I said, Career Center folks are sending me emails. And so I've now got like 3 or 4 or 5 emails that I'm trying to figure out who sent me all this stuff. Where are the actual invoices and bills that I have to pay? That's where in this project form, all that stuff can live. And then I've got one spot where anything that you guys pass, anything the union board wants to pay for, if it's retreat related, whatever it is, I can go find that in one spot and say, okay, here we go. This is easy. All right. So I'm going to ask you, please use that Google form, not to satisfy anything that Gage needs, not to satisfy anything that Ty needs, but to help me stay somewhat sane. I'm probably going to go insane at some point in time this year anyhow, but I don't want it to be because of you guys and the stuff that you're passing that's really productive and helpful to SGA and to the student body. All right, so main thing, get the taxes cleared, get invoices, get W-9s. If I can use a credit card, I'm happy to try to. We do have an Amazon account that I can order stuff from. Similar to last year, though, for those of you who were here, remember, it's not SGA's credit card, okay? It's not Union Board's credit card. It honestly is tied personally to me. Now, it will pull funds from your accounts, but if it doesn't get paid, it affects me personally, okay? So I think I have something like a $8,000 credit limit on that thing, somewhere around that. Y'all, Union Board's having an event tonight that was almost $15,000, okay? I have no idea how much of that money was spent on the credit card. I'd have to go look at it. I don't just keep track of that because I do it all in Workday now. But if they spent, say, $5,000 on that, that takes up more than half of that credit card limit. So if you guys come in and say, hey, I've got this really great bill, but it's going to cost $3,000, I'm not so sure that I can do it. It's not to mention if KLPI needs me to buy something, or if you guys have other stuff that I need to buy. So just be mindful that this is not an infinite supply of money that I have that I can buy that on. I just don't want you to pass something and then come back to, come and say, hey, Mr. Cabin, has this been passed? I'm like, guys, I don't know how to pay for this. That happened with the Career Center thing. And also the Vested Board thing. That was another thing that we passed where we literally just got it in, okay? Now, this is nobody's fault. This is not Dr. Zygmunt's fault, my fault. We cleared all this through Louisiana Tech purchasing and everything, and they made it harder than they needed to, which is what's going to happen, guys. But the Vested Board was ordered in like March, okay? Well, due to COVID, guess what, guys? Shipping takes about 9 months longer than it normally would on certain things now. So because we didn't receive that stuff until September, purchasing ran me through the ringer, complaining that you have to receive all this stuff before the new fiscal year. Louisiana Tech's fiscal year is July 1st through June 30th. So if I don't get something in, if you place an order now, if it doesn't get here by June 30th, then purchasing is going to have my hide, y'all. And I'm tired of dealing with them, if I'm honest with you. I've fought with these people all doggone year long, and I don't know what else to do with them. So I'm just asking you, keep those things in mind. This project form will help me to look and make sure that you plan this stuff out and that you've looked at it. So to Ty's point, plan in advance, okay? Don't come to me day of an event and say, hey, I need to go get water, or I need to go do this, or I need to go do that. It may not happen, y'all. I'm just going to be honest with you. It just may not happen. If I can help you, then I'll help you, but it may not always. The other thing I want to talk to you about, listen, this is not to criticize anybody's bill last year. The bills were fine. If you believe that they served the students, that's great. That's what I want. Remember, you serve the student body, though. You don't serve faculty and staff, okay? I felt like there were a lot of bills where we're going to deans and directors and professors and we're saying, hey, what could you use in your college that would be really great? Dude, y'all are students in that. Every one of you guys represent a demographic of students. Go talk to your constituents. Don't go talk to the professors. Don't go asking them what they need. Ask what your students need, and then let's start talking about what we can do to fix it. There is a place for campus beautification and for different things that you guys might want to pass. I'm not discouraging from doing that, but talk to some students. Make sure it's something that students actually give a crap about before you go off and, no offense, I don't think Elizabeth would mind me, criticizing this bill, but like, we tried to pass some pots for, was it GTM Garden, I think?
No, it's for Hale Hall.
Hale Hall Garden. That's a great project. There's nothing wrong with you guys passing, but I bet you no students ever look at that thing other than us. And it took so long for us to still never be able to get that stuff. Ty, you gotta.
I was gonna piggyback off of that. If you have a university administrator or university faculty and staff that reaches out to you to write a bill for something, genuinely think about, if this is the person that's asking me to do this, how is it going to benefit the students? Because to be honest, probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, if they're the ones asking, it's something that they want for their department. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I feel like SGA in the past has been taken advantage of by a lot of departments on campus to buy certain things when it doesn't benefit the student body directly. So just think about that when you write a piece of legislation, if it's for somebody on faculty or staff or administration.
No doubt about it. And I agree with that sentiment. And it's not to say that we shouldn't do some of these departments, y'all legitimately don't have the funds to do certain things. Okay. I appreciate that you guys would be helpful. That is your role. If you identify something that you think students would need or that they would benefit from, please. I'm not saying squash it. Just go talk to some students. Have some evidence to support that students are actually going to care about it. All right, do the work. And I know you guys are capable of doing that. So all that, I don't want to come in here first meeting and be Debbie Downer and kind of hit on you guys, but I know you are about to start getting working fast and furious. I know you're going to have a lot of great ideas, a lot of things that you're trying to accomplish. Y'all want to help you accomplish that stuff. I need to know that stuff so that I can be prepared for it and to know how to help you. Some of it, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'll tell you, there are some things like y'all, I could write a work order for half the crap that came through last year and be done with it in 5 seconds. Okay. And that's not a criticism of anybody who went through that work. Kudos on you for going through it. But there just are things that I could take care of like that don't need a 2-hour debate in front of the SGA. If I can just be candid about that. So just be mindful of all that stuff. Y'all talk to me. I'll help you however I can. If any of you have worked with me before, you know that to be true. I would hope. So all that. Thank y'all for being back. I can't tell you how excited I am to see y'all. This has been a long summer. I am so thrilled that we are back in person, that we're doing things. I know the mask still sucks. Keep wearing it. Y'all have done a great job with that. I know everybody's got some fatigue. Just keep up the good work, guys. You're killing it on all aspects of life. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you for doing that. So I'll leave that on a positive note. Y'all have a great school year. Let me know how I can help y'all out, please.
I thought he was gonna throw it for real.
Stop.
I'm scared. Okay, cabinet reports, we're gonna make this quick, so we're gonna use the app. Even if you can talk loud as a man, please use the app so we can record it here. Okay, cabinet reports, who's up first? They can, but I approve it one by one. Yeah. All right, cabinet reports. Let's see who's first and hold on a second, sorry. All right, diversity and inclusion, please. Hold on a second. Okay, Victoria Phillips. Hold it down.
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm the director of diversity and inclusion. Me, Dolly, and my team have been working all summer to kind of really let people things. First, I would say thank you to everybody who came to the international student orientation practice. We've had such a great turnout. I got to meet some really people from little people from several different countries, and it was a really good event. Something that I can tell you about, we are having 2 mandatory diversity training days for you guys. We're going to one. There are 3 dates that I give you guys some flexibility with your schedule. You can find those on the Google Calendar, but those dates are October 13th from 5:30 and October 28th from 5:30 p.m. We're not having any one meeting for everybody to be. And the reason coming in for 2 hours is we want to give you an interactive experience with the director. We also want to take your affairs that will help you connect with people on things that have a different perspective and things like that. To kind of help you have pretty much the student body because there's a lot of different people on there. We're going to be able to hear this everybody has to support with the people. And I think what I wanted to say is this is really going to be really diversity in everyone. Anytime there's a question about diversity or how to go about diversity in the military representatives or any collaboratives that involve diversity, come talk to us. We're here to answer any questions. We're in the strength people who are very open about diversity and like that. And we'll just come see us. And then one other thing that we work on this summer is my department. We're closely engaged on the execution application. We kind of look at those questions, added a few questions that we felt were important to the application to help the senators in picking organizations that really deserve the execution. And yeah, so I'm excited for this year and can't wait for it.
I just want to piggyback off of what Victoria said about the diversity dates. We are not going to do excuses for those unless you have something tonight that you can send to Elizabeth, since it is a month in advance, unless you have a class. And there's also 2 different days and they're not on the same day of the week. Those are really important, and I think it'd be really beneficial. We thought it would be really beneficial for us to have it outside of an SGA meeting. That way we're not rushing through it. And it's going to be with Ms. Devaria Ponton, Ms. P. And so it's going to be a really good thing. So like I said, if you have any excuse for that, make sure you get it to Elizabeth by midnight.
Sarah, Square?
Okay, first of all, if you all can go out the email that was sent, it's just a good day. And if you recall, we did 2 sets of the CDO sample question features on December 3rd, and 2 sets of all session tickets for the men and women's basketball features. So we fill that out, we will have a chance to speak in that. And we just want to have feedback on students into the consumption models and access to like that. It's a really long template as well. So we get all that feedback. Also talk about people meet sometime this month or the next month, talk about institutes for students in general and like for all right. Volleyball Saturday game, Thursday at 6:30. And SMU this weekend, 2:30 at the night. And also, Reggie is really excited to work with you guys. If you have any questions or any like have those suggestions or ideas, please contact me. Yeah.
Nathan?
We don't have to clap.
You failed to respond. In case you gave it to you. Okay. Oh, there goes Nathan.
Okay, some stuff about questions in the those packets and not just survey for that. And it's really just a Google form. Asking for your name, study, things like that. We've gotten like some really good responses to that. I don't know really any question that want to get involved, encourage that housekeeping though, any polling with senators or other departments want to do that relates to anything that goes through us. So anything that's student outreach or accommodation is just what needs to come to us. Yeah, and so the next thing is in-person, someone else on the board needs to say that. On September 20. Will be our freshman, teaching assistant. We have gotten the 9 rooms, so now it's gonna be, we're most likely to be in this. But it's gonna be at least one kind of books that the only one that please, that. And there are also the series with the code, the phone as well. And everything is due to us on the 27th, so audits, forms, all the verified, and we'll send emails out for eligible. So that's another big keep in mind. And then things for family will be also for the 8th, and then voting will be the 7th. So that's a little thing. The 8th. So for both and I know that's a lot of days. You know, yeah,
All right. We'll go on to environmental action.
Hello. Hi, my name is Caroline. We have very exciting announcements. So, Garrett worked really hard over the summer and got a contract with actually, so we're getting recycling. So phase 1, we will have receptacles in Colorado Student Center, and then bi-weekly we're going to have recycling and collection events at the Elk parking lot. So anybody from the community, everybody from the school can drive through and all of the recyclables, and we will turn them in and get money back from recycling and things like that. And it's just figuring out, yeah. So what we are collecting is the PET plastic number 1, so that's like your beverage containers. You can look at the bottom and it'll tell you what kind of plastic it is. We're doing ACPE plastic with the plastic number 2, glass, cardboard, aluminum cans, steel cans, PET, thermoforms, plastic number 1, which is eggshells and buried plastic. So our first recycling event is actually this Sunday from 1 to 5, and we'll have one more. We're also setting up the recycling receptacles tomorrow. So one thing that we really will help with is just keeping an eye on these receptacles and seeing if they're full. So look out for a sign sheet that we can have on Sunday. All you have to do is just walk past it, see if it's full. If it is, text one of us and we'll go and see it. But just really look out for that. Yeah, and then phase 2, eventually we will have some receptacles in POD and ISP. But this will go over just at least 6 months. So at bi-weekly, we will have this available.
TLC.
Hey, yes, okay. So you didn't know the social applicants is not yesterday. I know a lot of y'all already posted on our sales sometimes. But if you haven't, please repost it and put the graphic in the QR code in the graphic section so you can post that too. Just tell everything you want to just keep posting it every next Friday if you want it. We're looking for some more applications.
All right. Is that all for TLC? Okay, cool. All right, homecoming, or I should say, yeah, Samantha Taylor, go ahead.
I'm Samantha. And we came homecoming this year with our lovely team. We worked all summer and we're really excited about it. So homecoming practice went out yesterday, so I'll call your email. Cool. And so we're excited. We have a lot of activities planned with our competitive events, we have a lot of giving opportunities, so y'all get excited about it. Get your organizations that you're a part of excited about it, because more y'all are into it, more they're into it, more we get everybody into it. Because we have a little homecoming last year, so we'll have a lot this year, so get excited. Oh, and just like the election practice, everything's due on the 27th. So if you're gonna interrupt a competitive event, if you're gonna interrupt somebody for company for your somebody, everything is due on the 27th at 5 p.m. The 27th, 5 p.m. Do not forget it. If it's not to us by that day, it's not gonna be either with us, no company for foundations, you're not gonna get interrupt the competitive event. September 27th. Don't forget it. Everything basically throughout the except nomination form, those have to be turned in. And those can be turned into the back desk of the home. And so one thing that we have going on this week, that's gonna end on Friday, is our company t-shirt design competition. So it ends on Friday. We can send out emails, we're gonna send out more this week. So if you're creative, you're artistic, you want to design a company t-shirt, submit your form, submit your design, whatever, so that we have it. And we can choose by Friday, so that obviously you can send out those t-shirts, but I'm gonna take forever. So all the creative people you know, and the t-shirt design competition is gonna be one night, but it will get excited about hanging because we're excited. Thank you.
In that one. All right, we'll go with Jacob Thomas. God help us. Where's he at? There we are.
Okay, so first things first, I sent out a form the other day. This is for golf ball. They went to the trade a lot of those things, they're just up a lot of stairs. And it's very tiring, but for the guy who carried the most makers, I got them a little trophy. I thought maybe this little trophy right here would be adequate for the heavy fridges you carry. Give him a little something lighter to carry. So the guy who carried the most fridges, if you can borrow them.
Hey.
What was she so funny? She said,
Yeah.
Ethan, how many was it, Ethan? Wow.
So I
Jace can't win.
Wait, what?
Oh, I didn't. I was talking to Homer.
Oh,
I was talking to Homer.
oh, I don't know what they're
Next we'll do some Iowa admirals for honor to attack road. We want to carry on this little tradition here. So that's fun.
Hey everyone. Surprise to me here. I have a class on Tuesday 25 to 8:45. So this will be my only attendance this quarter. Make it yeah, I don't have to be here right now, but I chose to come here because that's what internal affairs is doing. Let's go. All right, now we have some attaboys. First off, I will do the men. First man is Dan. You got a big boy job in Las Vegas. I know you're doing a lot of hard work this summer with an internship, but now that's going to be full time. So congrats. The second man is no longer here, so we might have to save him for next time. Those Max. Max did dog call, and he did a lot of work this summer for dog call. I don't know, he did a lot of work. So we want to give him an attaboy as well. But yeah, so Dan, the man, stand up, please. And if y'all don't know, if y'all don't remember, I'll count to 3 and we'll go attaboy. The no button, just attaboy. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Attaboy.
And we have the add girls. And we have first up, Sydney McMillan is the new product IAP Scholar / Research Program USA. And then Sedalia and Diversity Equity Coaching Founder for ISA Group International Student Orientation. So 1, 2, 3.
Girls.
Why is this a news one?
What's up, guys? So, we're having a fall flag football Euro team. You haven't signed up, just message me and I'll get you there. Also, we're doing jerseys with like numbers and nicknames. So I'm about to send the group me a link. And one jersey, if you want to get in the role of like any purpose here, just please put your name down and all the information and get your jersey. So, thanks.
You good? All right. Let's go with, we're gonna do Bronson, you ready? I'm going to preface Bronson and Colin are IT specialists, video makers, anything we need. We have been working pretty hard on the equipment in University Hall as far as IT stuff goes. A lot of it's over my head and a lot of it is Bronson's stuff because he like ran a church live stream stuff. So he's pretty good with all that mess. But we're working on it. We have money limitations, we have technology limitations. We're trying to figure it out. I know we've been kind of messing around with the mics tonight on the phone and it kind of has been up and down, trying to figure it out. Bear with us because this is the best because the student body can now tune in, watch us live, hear clear audio through the microphones. We're as transparent as ever been. So this is a really big step as far as us as a government being transparent to our constituents. So Bronson will give us the update on some things.
As Casey said, we are live on YouTube right now. So the student body can go to the SGA and see us live right now. But obviously we're always so if any of you guys have feedback, anyone hears feedback from the student body, feel free to direct them through our apps and myself and kids. We're always looking to improve. We will currently talks with the university IT department about there's some upgrades in the work to University Hall, possibly maybe, and that might include something that will help us to improve live streaming in the future. So really excited that you're very welcome. Everyone else, we can now watch the slides. Live streaming has been the main focus, but we're also working on the website. That's kind of our stated job, constitution, so we're working on that. The goal there is, if you Google SGA at the moment, you will see 2 or 3 websites in various states of physical care, updated anywhere from 2015 to 2019. So the goal is to get that on the one website, so just redirect to the one website, and we'll be working on updating and modernizing it. So those are two things that we're working on right now. So,
Thank you. And Colin, you're making plenty of videos, huh? Oh, all of them. Good. Okay. Well, then that's going to conclude technology. Pacey? Yes.
Hey, y'all, I have to hold it.
Mhm.
I think I know where it is. Okay, I think much more, I was, we do a lot of external projects as the streets whole. The first one is going to be, part of Airmark, and the department of international projects. It is to a no sweat activation program, as well as quarterly drive for that. So we're going to be working on that fall quarter, we're going to be able to do Airmark marketing director on keys, next piece, we'll keep you updated on that, but just want to let y'all know. That's going to be our big project.
Yeah.
Guys, so just a comment, don't need anything on our computer for maybe whatever. If you're talking about project, it's a good idea to do it. If you're talking about anything, make sure you're in the report, we all pay. Shout out to the people that are done this already, because I'm prior to including that. But if you don't need anything, let me know. The board monitor, it looks really great, and I'll say, Sarah and work on our content, and all PR service to help out. It looks good to board us, but Sunday, and I go on the project. The board better, but I don't need anything to go.
Awesome. Okay, great. Lindsay Thornton?
Okay, hey guys, I'm Lindsay, Sun Cathedral Community Service update here. So I'm gonna tell you some of the things that we're gonna be doing this year. One thing that we did last year that was really well for us was doing one service project a month. And so us as a department are putting that together, and we, something that we as SGA do or something that we invite the student bodies to do. So for this month, it's a supply drive. So Kiara is the community service chair for the UL system. Shout out to her. And all of the UL system is coming together and doing supply drives. And so we are partnering with Branding and they're doing a supply drive for Nichols. And yeah, and so that all came together. PLC is partnering with us in this too. So shout out to Cooper, and Marshall too, because they really helped with it. But we've got boxes outside of the office on the desk. You know, I would really love it if we fill those boxes up, and I have more boxes in my car, it's like 80. So let's just fill them up. I would love for us someone to send them. That would just really love something like that. So that's that. Another thing, another department is that we inform the student body of how they can volunteer. And so a way that we've done that in the past is in the newsletter. We're kind of working on making that just more effective, more accessible. So right now we are collecting places that students can volunteer. And we're going to work on maybe sending out a Google for the student body and ask them, but really it'd be helpful if y'all know ways to volunteer, or you know service opportunities to let us know. Because we want to provide the students with that information, because if students are willing, they just need to be directed. So that's what we're doing with that. And then we are also doing a new thing this year where our department is going to reach out to organizations, to their either the leaders present or they have someone specified for community service. We're going to reach out to them and tell them that they can reach out to us if we can partner with them in anything, if we can help, you know, advertise an event that they're doing, we can throw up. And so that's something that we're going to be doing as well. If you have, we're kind of working on getting, you know, organizations and getting contact information. Great organization, but if you are in an organization, you're the president, teacher, president, or you know the person, please send that information on the way so we can just go ahead and get started on that. But yeah, that's all I know.
Okay, so do any other categories? I know Kelly, you have a report. I'm going to say yours for last. Anybody else got one? We're good. Okay, Kelly.
Hey y'all. So, our lawyer and they have some little graphic credits, so you need a graphic credit. That's you. Fill out that QR form, QR code for the form at minimum 2 weeks before the event, so that we can allocate. If you know it's not coming up, go ahead and fill in that form. Okay, fill it out that form. Give us everything, make sure it'll have next please. PR day, we already have quite a few people signed up. I'm not sure the day we're gonna be yet. It'll probably be a Saturday, I'm thinking, just like a quarter or two, honestly. Probably do it in shifts, if you weren't guys all the summer, kind of get it with all the enroll. And then the next one, headshots. So, our photographer enrolled and already meeting with her in Office of University Communications. She is so gracious and she's carved out these 2 days, these separate times for us to come in and take our headshots. I wanted y'all to have headshots that y'all can use on your LinkedIn, or your resume, or anything professional. So it's gonna be like, I'm telling y'all, amazing. So please try and dress business casual, girls a nice top, guys, either a button down or button down in the, coat thing, jacket, blazer, all of it will be in blue background. OSLs is the same thing that y'all get. So if y'all don't want to have to go retake your picture, we can do that. But if you do want to retake it, that's totally fine. So try and stay away from blue. I know we're going to blue canvas, but try to stay away. Office of University Communications is where the world's office is, and that's the 12th floor of Lounge Tower. Okay, and then we do have a little ask call coming up. It's going to be a Google form. We'll send it out, and then we'll answer them either by email if they choose to do it not anonymously and submit their email, or it will be done anonymously and we'll post responses on stories for Instagram. We'll have Gage and Elizabeth working on getting the form together. We're going to have a link of it on the link tree. So that all of our positions, all of our students have access to resolutions, minutes, and contact info. So if we have an organization on campus, or if we have a student body who wants to get in touch with their senator or get in touch with community service to do a community service event, they can go, they can look at the contact information from the link tree, and they have access to it all. We're going to do weekly recaps every week. So tonight I'll probably pull somebody from community service or from internal affairs or one of the executives to do something on Instagram, little video, say this is what we talked about, rah, that kind of thing. We'll probably do that every tomorrow or Thursday. I'm going to text you. If you're not willing, just let me know. If you are willing, just tell me yes. We'll make a time to come together and do that. Okay, and this is the last thing. So this is serious. This is serious listening. Please listen. I say it's serious, but it's just we're all professional individuals. We're in college. We're adults, and so we need to conduct ourselves that way, and in a way that our student body feels welcome to come and talk to us about a need that we have. So this is a professional skill. Like you said earlier, we need to be proactive and not reactive. Nothing has happened. Nobody has come to me complaining or anything. My boss, Tanya, who's the executive communications director for the university, has not made any bad comments or anything. This is just us trying to give something in the Bible. So, with that being said, we need to present ourselves in a positive light on social media and on campus. So if you're in grade 5, especially in the sorority, we can't wear our letters to party or norm. So I would like to ask you, and the exec members would like to ask you to not wear your SGA polo, your SGA t-shirt, or your SGA sweatshirt to a party, wherever to go to a house. Just don't do that or don't post in it. Preferably just don't do it at all. You probably have other posts anywhere. And that's just keeping it good. I don't like posting that somebody's falling out of the floor your SGA. Because then that comes back on us. And it shows SGA and they were like, I wouldn't think that anybody would do that, but just to put it out there. Second, do not use your SGA affiliation to boost their name. So, as an example, this is not reflecting in my personal views of this matter, but I'm using you as an example. So, I cannot go on social media and say, I, Kelly Cole, as the director of public relations, for Louisiana Tech Student Young Rights Association believes that we should not be wearing masks. But I can say, I believe that we should be wearing masks. So I know that we all have opinions, whether it be political or they think everybody should think that mint chocolate chip is superior, or, you know, superior labor, or, you know, the roads are terrible in Ruston. You know, just don't attach your SGA affiliation to that opinion, because then we're technically like looking supposed to be like unbiased in those kind of things, you know, like we can't affect how people view something just because we're an SGA. People are allowed to believe what they want to believe. I'm not saying that we're taking away your free speech. That's stupid. I'm in a media law class right now where they're learning how that is possible. But just don't attach your don't attach your SGA affiliation to something that can be taken negatively. And just lastly, just be a good human. You want people to feel welcome and you want them to come to these meetings. And as they said, we're able to open forum last year during SGA week. People said that they were like scared of SGA. Like, why? What has made that anyway? So just be a human on campus. If you see them use freshmen, help them out. They don't have to know that you're an SGA, but then if they see you on that contact information form or they see you on Instagram, then they know that's a representative that I can go to. And they were nice to me, so I want, you know, to go to a bar or to, you know, just go to them. So that's the end of my spiel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can come to me. If those 2 dates for headshots don't work for you, either low-key stay tuned or just let me know and I can start working with more about some mid updates. But like I said, if you don't have any questions on those or if you want any speech, come tell me and I'll take it. I promise. I want y'all to
Okay, we have a Senate report, to my understanding, Senator Bender. If you'd like to go ahead. Yeah, you can do whatever. Just go ahead and talk at this point. Yeah, there we go. Here's. Did you tap it to request it? There we go. Now you can hold it.
Are we good? Okay, cool. So the summer, and had resolution on one bill, one first bill, and had I think my name's down there, but she would offer.
Sorry. You can just.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and pretty much that bill was about getting the banners, new banners on the light poles that did not happen. So that was taken care of. She did a great job on that. That was our one bill. We couldn't write bills for more than half the summer. The fiscal year worked out, but we got one in. So now I got something to go off of for all the senators that have not written bills before. Look at that kind of as like inspiration or template, but also can talk to us. We can kind of walk through that. As far as the resolutions, we had two involving baseball teams that Allie Smith and I decided to work on. One highlighting the baseball team's achievements, mentioning them going to conference and things like that, and another one highlighting all the players who had earned certain achievements throughout the baseball season or who had broken previously set records. So let's check those out. And then the last one was done by Patrick Miller, was addressing the late senator, Mr. Letlow, who passed away, and recognizing his achievements and things like that. So we all know that they may have seen his wife there. She is now become a senator in his place. And I put it on Instagram. But that's pretty much it. Keep up the good work, guys. Great job to all the summer senators who be able to be there and help go on these things. So, but that, I do my time.
Thank you, Senator Bennett. I know this has been a long meeting. We still have some Senate business to discuss. With this time, we're going to take a 3-minute recess. Cabinet is adjourned. Cabinet is adjourned. Senate and everybody else stay. Thank you.
Yeah, while they approve the budget, I'm gonna take
What?
while they approve the budget, everything I'm gonna
Sure. That'll work.
take. Hey, Supreme Court.
Okay.
Call this meeting for the Senate of the Student Government Association to order. The secretary report.
Wait, y'all are with Kiara back there. Oh, wait, maybe not. Where, is that where they're going?
Secretary report.
Pursuant to Article 10, Section 2 of the Student Government Association bylaws, the Senate shall come to order to transact the business of the student body. Pursuant to Article 2, Section 5C of the Student Government Association Constitution, this meeting shall be chaired by Vice President.
Secretary will call the roll.
roll's already been called and.
All right. First item of business is the consent agenda. Do we have a motion? And second, to approve the items of the consent agenda?
Motion approved.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a sufficient second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. We have no old business. And we now will move to new business, consideration of proposed budget for fall 2021. Before we get into the voting, would there be any questions regarding the budget before you vote on it? Hearing no questions on the budget, will there be motion and second to approve the budget as written? Motion to approve and a sufficient second. All those in, and second, any debate? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The budget is approved. And if anybody has any last minute announcements or reports, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
Good job, everybody.